I'm Christine Guerin Shara, and this is my husband.
Eric Scherer.
And we're going to talk about what I was thinking about for the lesson. So what I was saying about using the tangrams with tape folded over itself like that, if we do it like that, then they'll actually stick to this plastic coat on here, the sheet protector. And I was thinking we could use that story, what is it called here? Grandfather Tang's Story by Ann Tomper. It talks a little bit about the history, and he uses the tangrams to tell a story. So I was thinking we could engage the students by saying, what are tangrams? What have you heard about tangrams? Who's used tangrams? Does anybody know what they are? Give them a chance to answer that. And depending on what they say, we can either say yes or offer up that it's a square that's cut into 7 shapes, and it's used to create a puzzle. We could talk about the fact that each piece is called a tan. Then we could say, where do they come from? Does anybody know where they come from? So they're attributed to the ancient Chinese. And the story, Grandfather Tang's Story, is about a grandfather who is Chinese and his little granddaughter who is also Chinese. And he tells the story, like I said. And what are the rules for using tangrams? It's a puzzle with rules. They have to use all 7 pieces. They have to touch. They have to be touching at least another piece, but they can't overlap. So those are the rules, 3 things. What are the 3 rules? Use all pieces, they must touch, and no overlapping. And then how can they be used? Well, one of the examples is what Grandfather Tang does, is he tells a story using the shapes. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate what I'm envisioning could happen. One of us could read the story, and the other 2, some pages have 2 shapes and some just have 1 where you could take turns. But Eric is going to show kind of like what would be going on while somebody's reading the story. We could also talk about, we could ask what shapes do you see? So we could even start before that, say what shapes do you see here? We have, let them answer, it's a parallelogram. We have several triangles, and we have a square. Okay. Grandfather Tang's Story, a tale told with tangrams, written by Ann Tomper and illustrated by Robert Andrew Parker. Grandfather Tang and little Sue were sitting under a peach tree in their backyard. They were amusing each other by making different shapes with their tangram puzzles. Let's do a story about the fox fairy, said little Sue. So Grandfather Tang arranged his 7 tangram pieces into the shape of a fox. Then Grandfather Tang made another fox with little Sue's 7 tangram pieces. Little Sue clapped her hands as Grandfather began. She was obviously very excited. So that's what I'm envisioning, is that while the story is being told, this first page has 2 foxes, 2 different foxes, and we can set them up on something like this where they can be just kind of arranged like that. And to make it easier, under here, you would just, we need better tape. We need better masking tape. Under this flap, you can actually lift it up and, I think we try to be funny. So, it's okay. So when you lift it up to go on the next page, you'll just actually fold this one down, and the next one will be definitely need better tape. But that's what I was thinking. And then let me just take this off of here real quick anyway. So let me just pause this for a second. All right, so what I was kind of thinking is for the younger students, maybe giving them the full outline like this so they can place the shapes in with very little frustration, hopefully. The older students, maybe 4th, 5th, maybe 3rd, just give them the outline of the animal without the breakdown of the pieces, and let them have an opportunity to try and do it themselves. And if they struggle, then just give them the answer key so that they can move on. But then from there, I was thinking, if we broke down into 3 stations where each one of us could do a separate concept, one could do the flip, one could do the rotation, and one could do the slide. You could say, how can we make this fox's tail wag with a slide, or what can we do with a slide to this fox? And maybe they'll move the ears, or maybe they'll wag the tail. I mean, it's up to the teacher, but that's just an idea that I was thinking and I'm really excited to hear what you guys think. So hopefully we can come up with something before Wednesday. Actually, before Tuesday, because we have to turn it in by Tuesday.